Hi, everybody. Recently, a dialogue took place with somebody that I consider to be a friend. There were words that were misconstrued, and there was context that was misunderstood. And that's because those words were written on Facebook. They were not conveyed face to face, and they were not spoken orally. So I'm choosing to use this video to share some thoughts that I've written down because I want people to hear my words. I want you to hear my voice and see my expressions so that you don't misinterpret what I have to say and that it's more honest and face-to-face. So many hurtful things have happened during this campaign. It's baffling. I'm not hurt that my property got vandalized. I'm not hurt that my public records were posted all over Facebook. I'm not hurt over the rumors and mistruths that were spread about me, and I'm not hurt that my signs were taken. I am hurt that grown adults felt like they had to stoop to those levels in order to try to accomplish a goal. I'm hurt that when I called the Board of Elections to ask a question, I told them I'm running for trustee, and they said, "Oh, what township?" And when I said Perry Township, the man on the other end of the phone said, "Oh, you poor thing." I'm hurt that when I discuss with other officers, mention that I work in the area and that I'm running for trustee in Perry Township, they ask me if I have a clue what I'm getting myself into. Well, I do have a clue. I do know exactly what I'm getting myself into. I wouldn't have jumped into this race if I did not believe in this township. I believe in all of its residents, and I believe in the history of Perry Township, and I believe in its future combined. I don't want to see our township annexed or incorporated in the future. I do not want to see industrial growth or neighborhoods taking over our green space and our farmlands. I want to be able to ensure that our seniors will still qualify for their homestead exemptions for their farmlands. And I want to make sure that others remain protected from additional taxes by supporting their current agricultural use values like we are. I want to know that my family and my land are safe from all kinds of emergencies, whether that be fire, natural disaster, or car in my pasture, as happened again in our township on Thursday. We are a rural area. We don't have fire hydrants. So if there's a barn fire or a house fire, I want to know that the fire departments have trained, practiced, rehearsed, and reviewed the skills necessary to run a water shuttle or to draft off of a pond in order to provide enough water to douse that fire. It's a precisely choreographed set of skills, and I feel confident that both of our local fire departments have those skills because of the leadership of Chiefs Kaiser and Fletcher and because of the individual drive of each one of the firefighters. Recently, I saw on Facebook where someone commented that Brookville's firehouse is bigger than Kettering's. Well, maybe, but that's really a blessing. That's a good thing. Chief Fletcher and I both will acknowledge and agree that we're not always each other's favorite people. But our township's greatly lucky to have him in the role that he is, and I do admire him greatly. He's a visionary. He knows what is needed to keep people safe. He thought about it when building the new fire department, and he left no stone unturned to ensure the safety of our citizens. That department has a firehouse that is ready for anything for the Brookville and New Lebanon areas of Perry Township. The largest room in that firehouse, which is the training room and emergency operations center, is a multi-purpose room. Now, most often it can serve as a classroom, but it also has the capability to be utilized as a huge meeting room. So if we in Perry Township ever want to hold a large event or a large meeting and we don't have capacity for it in our building, that room is open to us, free of charge, anytime. It's open to us as well. The room also configures into an emergency operations center for all of Northwest Montgomery County. The fire department has the ability to dispatch from that room, as well as coordinate police, fire, EMS, Task Force 1, and anybody else that may come in to serve during an emergent situation, all from that one location. Chief Fletcher also secured a grant so that the necessary supplies are available if that room needs to be used as an emergency shelter, like it was during the tornado. In addition to being a heating and cooling center, that room can accommodate 23 inflatable beds for overnight sheltering if needed. So these are not the things paid for by the taxpayers. These are things funded by grants from the state, from the NFPA, from FEMA, and so many other places. Even Firehouse Subs gives out grants. So where does our money go? What the taxpayers contribute to are the day-to-day operating expenses. Things like electric bills, fuel for vehicles, the soap used to wash the vehicles, because nobody wants a muddy ambulance showing up to save their family person's life. It has upkeep fees and download data fees for things like the LifePak 12 cardiac monitor. Our taxes pay for the arson investigators, for the fire inspectors, and for the crews that not only put out the fires, but then those who clean up quite a bit afterwards and do the overhaul. Sometimes levies pay for personal protective equipment for the firefighters because nobody wants to run into a burning building in their street clothes. Sometimes hoses rupture, they may need replaced, and vehicles do require maintenance. Those are things that our levy money supports. The individual person is not charged for maintenance fees for the equipment when batteries go dead. They're not charged for things like the internet fees to upload their cardiac strip or their data to the hospital so the hospital's ready when the ambulance gets there. If a person receives a bill, that's generally for the IV fluids that were used to keep them alive, for the tourniquets or the rolls of gauze used to stop their bleeding, or for the medications that helped alleviate or minimize their pain. It's an ambulance. They have pain. Patients receive bills for tangible retail items that the fire department needs to purchase in order to take care of each individual patient. If you receive a bill from your insurance company, well, that's on the insurance company. You need to contact them and find out why. Because not all insurance companies will send you bills for emergency transport in an ambulance. I know mine didn't. It was covered. If you're getting a bill, that money doesn't go to the fire department. That money goes to the insurance company. I also want to know that our township has a readily available, fully staffed police department to respond when there's a crime or a threat to myself or my neighbors. I want to know that the rape of a child is going to be fully investigated so that I can feel confident that my son is allowed to ride on the bike path without worrying about his safety. I want to know that the meth lab down the street was shut down before it blew up because our detectives were aware and were on it. I want to know that our barns and our homes don't need to be kept locked at night with cameras everywhere because somebody has been going house to house and stealing tools. We have a great police department. We've got a lot of veteran officers. They bring an awful lot to our township. I'm lucky that I have had the pleasure of working with a lot of these officers in past experiences. And I know that they are some fantastic people who have a lot to bring to the table. Likewise, our chief has a history with Perry Township. He remembers how things used to be, and he can help make things the way they were once again. If I'm elected, I look forward to sharing some of my connections with our officers. I've done that a couple times already through emails with Chief Littleton, and I hope that I can share that with many more. I want the safety of our citizens to be a given fact, not something we have to worry about on a regular basis. So with that being said, I also want to clean up and reiterate So many things said about me, so many untruths. Those things were evident that they are untrue by the groups that I'm affiliated with. I couldn't be of unscrupulous character, nor could I live any ounce of a deceitful life in order to maintain the affiliations that I have with my current rescue squad or the fire departments I've served with in the past, the Ohio Department of Transportation, or the Department of Homeland Security. Because I assure you, they find out everything there is to find out about someone. And I have been vetted by each and every one of those units. I've never been arrested. I've got no criminal record. There's nothing unscrupulous about any of the decisions that I have made for my personal life. My record is clean. My character speaks for itself. And my heart is with this township. I'm not running for office because I think any person has done a particularly bad job. I'm running because I saw the opportunity to finish out an unexpired, vacated seat with our trustees so that I can bring what I have to offer to the table, to the township. This is a job application. You are the employers. I am the applicant. So I'm asking that you'll consider me to fill that seat in our township as a trustee on November 5th. Thanks.